Boy! Meron akong kwento!
Yan!
Ito, ang kwento galing kay Wen, Vivis at Dudut.
Uy!
Uy, Bien, Vivis at Dudut.
Ito ang kwentong pinamagatang Graphs of Circular Function Involving Cosecant.
Graph of circular function involving cosecant.
Soldier boy, tell. Hey, I got this new damn.
Now let's have the cosecant problem team payaman. We have y is equals to 2 cosecant quantity of x minus pi. So the first thing that we're going to do is to look if the function is already in standard form. So as you can see, it is already in standard form. Therefore, we can now proceed in identifying the a, b, c, and the d. For a is equals to 2, b is equals to 1, c is equals to negative pi, and d is 0. After identifying the values of a, b, c, and d, we can now identify the amplitude, period, phase shift, and vertical shift. Let us now substitute. For amplitude is equal to the absolute value of a. Since a is 2, therefore, our a is equals to 2. Period, we have p is equals to 2 pi over b. Since b is equals to 1, we need to substitute 1. Simplifying 2 pi divided by 1 is equal to 2 pi. So our period is 2 pi. For phase shift, we are going to bring down the negative and substitute the value of c. And our c will be negative pi. And then we're going to multiply negative to negative pi, and our phase shift will be positive pi. Units to the right because our pi is positive. For the vertical shift, since our d is 0, then our vertical shift is none. For the main, just substitute the value of p and the value of phase shift. So here we're going to substitute. X is an element of real numbers such that x is not equal to 2 pi over 2k plus pi, where k is an element of z. Or x is an element of real numbers such that x is equal to pi k plus pi, where k is an element of z. For the range, we will just simply substitute the values of a and d. So we have negative infinity, negative 2 plus 0, union 2 plus 0, positive infinity. Or negative infinity, negative 2, union, positive 2, and positive infinity.
So let's begin to identify the x for our cosecant. For our first column, 0 positive negative ps is equal to 0 plus pi is equal to pi. So for our second column, p over 4 positive negative ps is equal to 2 pi over 4 plus pi is equal to 3 pi over 2. So for our third column, p over 2 positive negative ps is equal to 2 pi over 2 plus pi is equal to 2 pi. So for our fourth column, 3p over 4 positive negative ps is equal to 3 times 2 pi over 4 plus pi is equal to 5 pi over 2. So for the last table for our x in cosecant, p plus ps is equal to 2 pi plus pi is equal to 3 pi. So let's proceed the y table in cosecant. So for our first column is undefined. So for our second column, positive negative a plus b is equal to 2 plus 0 is equal to 2. So for our third column in y table in cosecant is undefined. So next for our fourth column, negative positive a plus b is equal to negative 2 plus 0 is equal to negative 2. So next our fifth column is undefined. So let's proceed to the graph for our cosecant. So let's put the pi, 3 pi over 2, 2 pi, 5 pi over 2, and 3 pi. So for our first column, our pi is undefined. So let's draw the asymptote. So next, proceed to the second column. So let's point the 3 pi over 2 in positive 2. So here our third column is 2 pi is also undefined. So let's draw again the asymptote. So let's proceed to the fourth column. So let's point the 5 pi over 2 in negative 2. So the last one, our 3 pi is undefined. So let's draw again the asymptote. So after that, let's draw the arrow for 3 pi over 2 in positive 2 and the 5 pi over 2 in negative 2.
Real-life application of trigonometric function of cosecant in music theory and in production. It refers how the sound waves travels in a repeating pattern. Cosecant helps and allows the sound engineers visualizes the sound wave from a single note modeled a sine curve. Cosecant also helps to determine how high and low the sound wave is.
Boy, meron ulit akong kwento!
Saúde.
Ang kwento namang ito ay galing kay Neneng Lamig, Chrissy at Bosque.
Uy!
Neneng
Lamig,
Chrissy,
Chrissy
at
at Bosque.
Ang kwentong ito ay pinamagatang Graphs of Circular Function Involving Secant.
Graph of circular function involving secant.
Gusto niya!
Saúde, boy.
For the second problem, we have y is equals to 2 secant 2 quantity of x minus 1 plus 1. So, as you can see, the problem is already in the standard form. Therefore, we can already identify the values of a, b, c, and d. So, the value of a is 2, the value of b is also 2, and the value of c is negative 1, and the value of d is positive 1. After identifying the values of a, b, c, and d, we can now identify the amplitude, period, phase shift, and vertical shift. The amplitude is equals to the absolute value of a. Since our a is 2, therefore our amplitude is equals to 2. For period, we have 2 pi over b. Substitute the given value of b, which is 2. Then, we will have 2 pi over 2. Cancel 2 over 2. Then, the final answer is pi. For phase shift, let us bring down the negative sign. And then substitute the given value of c, which is negative 1. Negative times negative 1 is equals to positive 1. Since it is positive, the movement of the graph is 1 unit to the right. Now, for the vertical shift, since the value of d is positive 1, the movement of the graph is 1 unit upward. Now, let's move forward to the domain. This one, we will just substitute the given value of p and phase shifts. So, substituting, x is an element of set of real numbers such that x is not equals to pi over 2k plus 1, where k is an element of integers. So, as you can see, we have substituted the value of p, which is pi, and then we use plus sign because the value of the phase shift is positive 1. So, for the range, we will be substituting the value of the amplitude and the value of d. So, it will be negative infinity plus the value of a, which is 2. It will become negative 2 plus 1, which is the value of the d. Union 2 plus 1, and then positive infinity. Simplifying this will give us an answer of negative infinity, union, 3, and then positive infinity.
Now that we already got the values for a until range, we will now proceed on getting the table and how to plot the graph of secant. So here we have the table pattern. This will be our basis to solve for the x and y. Let us just substitute the value for the following. First, for the x we have. So for the first value of our x, we have 0, positive, negative, ps, and we will be substituting the value of ps to 1. So we'll have the value of 1 for x. Next is we have For the second value of our x, let us then substitute again with the given pattern, and it will give us the answer of 4 plus pi over 4. P over 4 plus phase shift. Let's substitute the value of period with pi over 4 plus the phase shift, which is 1. So we'll have the value of pi plus 2 over 2. For the third one, we will be substituting the values and we will get the answer of 3 pi plus 4 over 4. And for the last value of x, we will have the answer of pi plus 1. To get the values for y, we will just substitute again. So for the first value of y, we will get positive 3. The second one will be undefined, and then those undefined will serve as our asymptotes. For the third value of y, we will get negative 1. For the fourth value of y, we will get undefined again. So another asymptote will be drawn on the graph. And for the last value of y, we will have positive 3 again. So now that we have the values of x and y, we will now proceed on plotting on the graph. So when we draw our Cartesian plane, the values that we will be putting on our x-axis would be 1, 4 plus pi over 4, pi plus 2 over 2, 3 pi plus 4 over 4, and pi plus 1. And the values for our y-axis will range from positive 3 to negative 1. We will have our first point on 1, positive 3, and then it will be followed by an asymptote since our value of y here is undefined. The second point will be on pi plus 2 over 2 and negative 1. It will be again followed by an asymptote since it is undefined. And for our last point, we have pi plus 1 and positive 3. So our graph would look something like this. Make sure that the lines won't hit the asymptotes because that is the rule. So that sums up the graph for graphs of circular functions involving secant.
The real-life application of the trigonometric function of secant is how our phones can connect to other services such as Wi-Fi, data, and etc. Secant can perfectly illustrate how electromagnetic waves are in different communication such as calling and texting.
Ano boy? May natutunan ka ba?
Meron na natutunan?
Oh, marami pala eh. E di mag-like, comment, share, and subscribe ka na sa channel na ito.